Firstly, thank you very much, Chris, for giving me opportunity to interview you for my YouTube channel and podcast.
Sure.
So, I thought to tell about you and the work that you are doing to my audience.
What was that? I'm sorry. The audio cut out.
I thought to tell about you and the work that you are doing to my audience.
Okay.
So, can you please introduce yourself?
So I'm Chris Regan, owner, founder of CLR Solutions. We are based in the U.S., New Jersey. We provide IT asset management services to corporations all over the U.S. that have, surplus computer equipment taking up space all around their businesses, and help them properly and responsibly, recycle it, recover value from it, and also take care of any data on on the devices and provide secure data destruction.
So, you're from?
What was that? It cut out.
You are from?
Uh, New Jersey, USA.
So, you're providing services only to US or to the other countries too?
Mostly the U.S. Our primary market is the New York metro area.
So, you started this 14 years back.
Yes, that's correct.
So what made you to start this? You started your journey as a network engineer and you worked in sales.
Yeah, it's kind of roundabout way. I started out in, as a network engineer working for other IT companies, and then did some worked in sales, had various different positions, kind of getting my lay of the land. And then back in 2008, the economy here was just at the beginning of the housing bubble, and I was doing traditional IT break fix type services for clients. And when the economy kind of crumbled the way it did, we were getting calls from a lot of our existing customers because of their cash flow shortfalls, and obviously just trying to stay in business. They were not using IT services. Those are some of the first things that they cut from their budget, and they were looking for, we've got this old equipment sitting around, can you help us monetize it? Or we ended up doing a lot of work for companies that were going through some sort of bankruptcy or reorganization, and had to liquidate the IT assets that they had in their business to as per orders of the court, and that to kind of liquidate that equipment.
So what is IT industry before and after your company?
What was that? I'm sorry.
Uh, what is IT industry in US before and after your company?
Could you clarify? Because I'm not sure. I'm not sure I understand the question.
Before starting your company, what was IT industry, and after entering into the market, now it has completed 14 years. What changed that you bought with your company?
Um, I mean, a lot. I'd say, a lot of things have changed, but they've also kind of stayed the same in a lot of ways. There's a greater progression to obviously the cloud and that. So there's less desktop hardware that we're seeing, in the client's office space, and more on the server side and in the data center. The last 2 years has been very interesting because of COVID and the lockdowns with the pandemic, and that the that put a big damper on our business. We were considered essential here in where we were located, so we were allowed to operate, but 99% of our customers were closed, so didn't really help much. But now things are kind of easing and opening back up, but we still find a lot of a lot of clients that are still working from home, working remotely, and there's the equipment that might have been slated for disposition as part of their refresh cycle that we would normally be getting from them has been is either just kind of sitting idle in the offices and they're not sure what they're going to do with it yet, or it's been since repurposed back in 2020 to fill that void where everybody was working from home and they needed this hardware that they laptops and desktops and what have you, so that they can work from home and set up these remote workforces.
So what is that understanding of yours is making things possible and solve the problems?
So I mean, like the main problem, I mean, what most of our clients have is they just have, they need to clear out the equipment in a secure manner. So they want the equipment removed so they can, gain back the space, make room for, the new infrastructure projects. And they also want to make sure that the equipment has been, wiped properly so that any data on hard drives and other, data containing devices have been destroyed properly, and that they can trust us to make sure that that's done correctly. And then along with that, customers, I find the problem that we solve for them is the old equipment. They've spent the money on it, but they'd like to get something back out of it. So we're able to take that equipment and either buy it outright from them, do a wholesale buy, or we work with them to consign the equipment where we'll refurbish it in our facility and then remarket it to our sources and get generate revenue from that we share back with the customer from that surplus equipment, and they can take that money, that found money, if you will, and put that towards their IT budgets or other expenditures where the IT department was traditionally a cost center for most businesses. This is a way where we can help them offset and have a department that generally never is always just cash flow negative. Is this case would be create some positive cash flow in that line item of business that can offset future projects.
Being a leader and being the owner of a company and being the manager of it, how is this experience? You are doing this for a long time.
It's tough. I mean, every day you're learning to try and be a better leader and to listen and learn from my team. That it's a small team, but trying to develop and grow the team back up to where we were pre-pandemic. But it's definitely a journey, not a destination. You're always trying to learn new ways to obviously improve operational efficiencies and costs, but also to make sure that the staff that I have working for me, likes working, and enjoys what they do, and that also making sure that they're properly paid for their work and that, so that they feel like that they're valued for what they're doing and that they bring truly something important to the team so that we're successful. I mean, without my team, I mean, my business is nothing. I rely on them for almost everything. So
Is it possible for you to be consistent in giving the quality service to your clients?
yeah, I mean, that's one area we've always excelled in is our customers for the last decade or plus now, come to us because we're reliable. We provide the service. We say what we do what we're going to say, or we do what we say we're going to do, and the follow up and the follow through is there. So when a customer, we agree upon something and that we say we're going to get it done, it's going to get done in a timely manner. We hit the deadlines and goals that and the expectations are met and managed in a way that that they know that when they call us that they don't have to worry about it. We're going to take care of it. The price is going to be fair, and the work's going to be, and the project's going to be handled, properly, and efficiently.
So, what is the biggest thing that you did and how you made it?
What was that? I'm sorry.
What is the biggest thing that you did and how you made it?
Like what thing? Like what do you mean? Like in what particular? Such as like like an example.
Any decision that you made to give the quality service or to give which made your company put forward?
It cut. I'm sorry, it cut out there for a second.
Any particular experience that that made you think a lot?
Um, I mean, there's been many, quite many experiences, and they all kind of they're all you learn from all of them as you go, and you take what you learn on those earlier experiences and use them to improve what if something was done wrong. I mean, any business is going to have screw ups and things not go 100% right all the time. It's it's the way that a business handles them and resolves them for the customer in a satisfactory manner that makes them stand out and sets them apart, I'd say. So I mean, that's one thing we were always able to be very flexible and work on the fly with the customers to kind of come up with and engineer solutions as different speed bumps and hiccups come up along the way.
What is your driving force? What is motivating you? What is making you to wake up in the morning and make things possible?
Well, my kids for one, so they keep me very busy, a lot of the time. So that's why I had to rely on my team so much to get things done. So I'm not able to be in the physically in the office. Work remotely a lot. I'd say so. They they're kind of the driving force behind you know what what kind of gets me out of bed every day. And then I like the challenges that come with with what we do. And there's always different opportunities for to deal with different customers and to get different types of equipment and just to come up with an engineer solutions for projects that require complex planning to get equipment out of a building in New York City, or decommissioning a data center that's going to require many different subcontractors to work together to to pull off the job, to get it done for for the customer, and then all those involved.
So, what is the difference that you observed in connectivity between information technology and human from all these huge experience of yours?
Hmm. Can you give like an example? Because I'm not sure how to answer that.
So you are into industry from long time. You saw the change, how the technology influenced and made human to do things which he didn't did before. So you are being the witness for it. So what do you say? How it changed mankind?
I'd say that now, I mean, the biggest change that I see is you know obviously with the development of AI, and then the progression of that technology and machine learning in that space, but obviously the enterprise infrastructure getting so much more powerful in the last decade that things where we used to interact with larger teams of people for different projects, and you know we would work with a customer, and they would be getting rid of as a just an example 50 servers, but now with the equipment being so densely populated and virtualized in that to allow things to be done, that now that same customer only has 5 machines, and they are able to manage them remotely. They don't even need staff at the site anymore to actually maintain and to, physically have an actual physical presence there to to take care of the equipment. Everything is just able to be managed remotely, and the equipment, the lifespan of it seems to be much longer than the average. So they're extending life cycles so that the equipment's in use for longer because they're able to repurpose it in different ways, or just virtualize it and make more use of the hardware, and and then redeploy it in a different fashion.
So how you are able to get success in both understanding the technical aspect, the technology, and also understanding the business aspect? How you are able to get the success?
A lot of it's communicating with people, and then I try to stay current. I just read, watch, YouTube's great for different content on from different other podcasts and different different commentators and and industry thought leaders for information on what's going on, and then just constantly just always trying to improve my knowledge by just reading books, wikis, just all different types of information that I can kind of get my hands on to learn about things in the industry and then business as a whole, so that I can continue to provide the best solution to our customers.
So if there are two people in you, and if I ask you to give a compliment to one of the person that in yourself, so what is the compliment that you give to yourself by observing all the things, the achievements that you did?
I don't compliment myself very often. I mean, I guess I'm my biggest cheerleader, but then I'm also the one I'm hardest on myself as well too. So I hold myself to a higher standard, I guess. So
So how you use your 24 hours of yours?
I mean, a lot of it is focused on work, but I also try to have a proper balance in work and with work life balance. And I in the last 2 years, obviously with everything having happened, I put a lot more influence on family because I've I lost my dad a number of years ago to cancer, and kind of realized kind of what the you know how short our time is here on this planet. So and it can be taken away immediately without any notice. So I try to spend an equal amount of time with family and and friends, so that I'm not just spending all my time at my work. And that's like it's more than a job to me, because I mean I like doing what I do, and it's so it's like it's not a not like to a lot of people, they just they hate their job and they have to come in and do it every day. I mean I like what I do, so it doesn't really feel like work, and I get caught up in it, and I'm there. You find yourself working late, but then I'm like, I got to step back, and I'm like, I could work here all night if I wanted to, because it's just like enjoy what I'm doing. But I got to take some time and step away and make sure that the family and that's also getting the focus. So I spend I tend to now break up my days and split days and make sure I spend as much time with my kids in that as possible.
What are those values of yours and of your company that made you to exchange the energy in United States?
Um, what do you mean by that? I'm not sure by the question.
How you are able to do this exchange, the energy that you have, that you are giving to the human, solving problems through your company, and taking in return for the energy that you are giving. What core values of yours made this long journey possible?
I would definitely say, I mean, like, definitely a work ethic that was, instilled by my parents and family. Just not to give up, and like, in business, you can't give up every time you have a failure or some sort of loss. I've been turned down and said no to more times than I can count. And if I did that, I would have given up years ago. So I'd say, just having the ability to, persevere and, don't take no for an answer, and just don't, and not to just give up when you're faced with a no. Not, every, all no's can eventually turn into a yes if we keep working, working at it and using, kind of just thinking outside the box and coming up with new angles and ways to do things. I mean, we had to pivot greatly in our business with COVID and that. So I mean, a lot of our business now, for example, we also are in renewable energy, and a chunk of our business comes from the refurbished solar panels. So
So, how much wealth you created with CLR Solutions? It can be anything.
what was that? How much what?
How much wealth you created with CLR Solutions after starting and till now?
Wealth? You mean like monetary? You mean you're talking about, or
I mean, the energy that you gave to the planet and the energy that you got from the planet.
uh that's a good question. I've honestly never thought of it like that. I'm 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 more, I don't know. I'm not so much a cerebral person as a more of a grounded. I'm an engineer, so I think of things in science and facts and numbers most of the time, to be honest. So just a different way of thinking. That's all.
So, what is the best experience as a founder of yours?
Uh, Best experience. I mean, I'd say just overall having the freedom to make your own decisions, and the only person that um, you're relying on for a paycheck and your own freedom is yourself. I mean, yes, obviously we have clients that we're beholden to, because without them we would not have a business. But I have the freedom to, then when I get up in the morning, if I don't want to go to work that day, or I want to go do something else, or do something with my kids or whatever, or participate in one of my hobbies, I can just go and do that and still take care of things. So I think that's, I think some of, those are the most memorable things that, from starting a business and that.
What made people to connect with CLR Solutions?
We Most of our, it's word of mouth referrals. I mean, we do great work for people. They're happy, and they tell other people, and that word of mouth, carries greatly in the business community, I find.
So, any particular project that you cannot forget or the experience?
Well, we've done a lot of projects over the years, but I mean, we've done, for example, I mean, we did a project this a number of years ago now, but one of the national semiconductor manufacturers was moving their national headquarters here in New Jersey, and we decommissioned their entire 300,000 square foot office facility with multiple data centers within that building. We did that with a small team in under 2 weeks, and recovered almost 500,000 pounds of electronics from that building for the customer, and we're able to get everything done in a timely manner, save them money over a competitor, and also provide credits back from equipment that we were able to remarket for them.
So how is your government support to you?
What was that?
Your government support to you?
Did you say government?
Yeah.
Uh, that's a touchy subject here. They don't really help us in any way, honestly. I mean, they like to over-regulate us and make business more difficult, to be honest with you.
So what do you understand about the present technology? It is not same like 14 years before.
I mean, in some ways, it's the same. It's just the way that we interact with it is different. Whereas back, 14 years ago, it was more everything was stored on the desktop and or locally, maybe on a server in your network. Now, 90, I'd say 90+% of what we do, and I imagine you do, and other people do on a daily basis, is in the cloud. Excuse me, in some shape or form, which is basically just servers somewhere else and in another data center. And the other biggest thing is like software in that we interact with 14 years ago was mostly a single purchase, single expense. You bought the license and you were able to use it. Now we're paying recurring subscription fees for monthly use. So I'd say that's one of the biggest things that's changed.
So how many industries you have served?
What's that?
How many industries you have served?
Like that we like how many different like industry verticals that we work with, you mean?
Yeah, yeah.
We, I honestly couldn't count. I mean, we work with just about every vertical that there is out there. I mean, our strongest ones that we work with most consistently, I'd say, are in healthcare, medical, and then like finance, banking, because obviously they are two of the most heavily regulated industries. So the proper data destruction and prevention of data breaches, and providing certificates of recycling, giving them the audit trails for the equipment so that that they're covered and that made sure everything is done properly is I'd say probably is the most important for them.
So I can see a lot of productivity and growth in the time that you spent on this in this company. So what is that energy that is making you to do this?
Um, I've just always been driven to just wanting to continue to keep growing the business and driving things forward and expanding into different areas, and kind of seeing where the market takes us. And then with the pandemic, kind of having to shift and reallocate resources to different areas. So it's been it's been a fluid process of constant change as different the customer needs changed, and then the demand for different equipment from customers that purchase the refurbished equipment has changed drastically over the last 10 years. And in the last 2 years with everything, the demands for equipment that had kind of previously fallen into low demand, and had jumped back up. And then supply chain shortages causing problems with acquiring new. So people are looking to acquire used and refurbished different types of gear for their needs. Made things previously not viable suddenly viable again because the markets came back.
So communicating with machines which are lifeless, communicating with human beings, how you are able to do this and be successful?
Yeah, I mean, I much rather prefer communicating with people and actually talking talking on the phone and that, because I find a lot is lost in translation with email and text messages, which seem to be the preferred especially text messages now even more so as the preferred method of communication with clients and that, and then also end customers that purchase our refurbished and used product. But that's just kind of the way the market's going, and the people are just become so busy because of all the tech that we're inundated with on a daily basis. So they don't have the time to even respond via a phone call. So then now we're relegated to short abbreviated text with emojis.
So you started CLR Solutions 14 years back. So
Yep.
The time was connected with it. Today, CLR solutions are still there, and time is connected with this. So, what is the difference that you are seeing in both of these connections?
What do you mean exactly? I'm not sure I understand the question.
How effectively you are using your time?
Now I'm able to more effectively use it because you know, we were able to fairly easily transition a lot of what we were doing to remote with the pandemic, because we'd already, put in place a lot of, efficiency solutions, an ERP system and that to manage the business. But now I consistently use about a dozen different applications in my daily workflow and that, and also personal to just manage the use of my time so that I can free up time to be more effective at doing the things that I'm working on, and then also allow me to focus on passion projects, and also to be able to put in more time with my family.
You are a continuous learner. You created a lot of productions already. So, how much happy you are for whatever you did?
Um, yeah, I mean, we've it's a tough one, but yeah, I mean, I'm happy with what we've done thus far, but I'm always striving to do more and to be able to just continue producing positive things.
What are
As
your
we,
next plans? Next plans?
what's that?
Your next plans?
Um, for 2022, I mean, plans, just now that things are finally opening up more so, like with a lot of the restrictions and really easing, and I hoping to see that some return to normalcy, if you will, and people getting back in the office, even if it's not in the same way as it was before, but being able to communicate and try and reestablish some of those personal relationships with clients and that, versus trying to reach them over these Zoom meetings that everybody has been dreads having to go on now, and being able to actually meet them in person and talk to them, and be able to solve their problems, and get them a solution that kind of takes care of whatever pain points they might have, and be able to kind of redevelop those those interpersonal relationships with the clients, and so that they versus the very impersonal video conferences, and trying to add additional team members to our workforce, so that we can continue to grow back to our pre-COVID workforce size.
So, how your communication skills helped you in uh, making the technology better?
I mean, communication's everything. It's, just being able to effectively manage and clearly state, needs and intentions, I think are key. I think that from what I've seen, a lot of that got lost during COVID, and people right now heavily rely on the pandemic as an excuse for poor communications. Not getting back to you, not returning phone calls, not returning emails, blame being too busy, but you know, you have to communicate. I mean, I'm available for our customers when they need us, whenever. I mean, we do stuff on weekends, holidays, when it's needed to get things done. I still maintain a balance with my family, but if the customer needs to get something done, we make sure that it's taken care of, and we answer the phone when they call.
So in this 14 years of experience, what do you think that is that is making software to connect with a large number of people on this planet?
Uh, like in what way? I mean, because we don't really deal too much in software. I mean, we mostly we're not, our business is primarily, surplus hardware.
Yeah, you are into hardware. So what is that thing that the from last few years, the change of hardware that you are seeing? So how that is impacting the world?
Um, I'd say, I mean, obviously, it just gets, the power of the hardware just gets, exponentially better, and then it's uses less power, so more and more can be used in a mobile environment versus us being kind of chained to our desktops, and not being able to kind of get out and be able to do things in the field while it's achieving that productivity that's needed from the computer.
How you are able to communicate with non-technical clients?
I always try to keep things at a simple level to explain it to them, so that they, in a way that they can understand it. I also have a salesperson on my team that's non-technical as well, so he's very good at explaining it to the customers in a way that they can understand, because obviously a lot of times when they've been tasked with needing our services, it's not their area of specialty is IT. It might, they might be an operations person, an admin, you know different, all, other managerial roles, so they're not versed in the tech side of it, so we're able to simplify things, and then we have different forms and templates that allow the customer to, when they're gathering information for us, that really simplify them and gives them like a how-to guide, and that to kind of get things done.
So what you want to do with CLR Solutions?
Well, like going forward, like
Yeah, what change that you want to bring in the industry?
I'd say the biggest change, I think, is just educating continue to keep educating corporate customers of the importance of using the right vendors, and trying to make sure that they understand things that can be done to prevent data breaches within their businesses, and that, so that they don't aren't reactive and try to be more proactive, and by using services like ours, they can prevent the problems from ever occurring.
So at last, what do you say to the people who are watching this conversation from anywhere on this planet?
Well, I'd say, I guess, thank you for tuning in, and listening for this long, and I appreciate you checking out this podcast that you've put together for us.
So, as a founder and as a CEO of a company, as a person who is into technology from long time, have a lot of experience in communicating with people as well as machines. What do you say about my videos? Have you seen any videos of mine on YouTube?
Yeah, I've seen a few of them. I like them. I like the interaction, and you bring together from a lot of different various industries to give people, in your audience just a broad ranging perspective of giving people an idea of different jobs and careers and experiences that are out there, and kind of get have people then asking questions themselves so that they can learn about other industries and learning about different topics and that they didn't know about, so that we can just kind of keep their creativity and interest picked, so that they themselves want to learn and become better persons.
So I did masters in software engineering and I did bachelor's in computer science and engineering. So how these conversations, great people like you who are already in the industry have huge experience talking and learning and knowing how things work, all this information, how this is going to be helpful for me if I work in a IT position in coming days.
Um, you'd be able to kind of use it to learn about the almost, it's like, to a lot of companies, the disposition and the asset management is like secondary to just managing the day to day and making sure everything's working. So a lot of times our part of our the last piece of the IT life cycle, the disposition, and that is kind of backburnered and falls to the wayside. So this, I feel like if you're in the industry, it might open your eyes to being able to incorporate this piece of the life cycle into your thought and your planning and project process.
So thank you, Chris. I hope your service reaches all around the world, and I hope you continue doing, you know, continue giving the great service that you are giving. And I hope you do more. A lot of companies and a lot of individuals get benefit because of the work that you are doing.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate the opportunity.
Can I put this video on my YouTube channel with your permission?
Yeah.
And also, can I put this audio and video clip on my podcast, website, internet, social media, everywhere with your permission?
Hmm. That'd be fine.
Yeah, I'll put your website link on the screen and as well as in the description of this video. People who finds our video on YouTube can see it.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, I've got a YouTube channel. I mean, we're very small, but for our business, and we can put it up on there as well.
So for podcast, people who are listening this conversation on podcast, can you spell your website?
Yeah, it's www.CLRSolutions.com. CLRSolutionsNJ.com.
Wonderful. Thank you, Chris. Keep inspiring.
Thank you.